I'm Darren with Akshon Esports, and this is Action Recap, the show where we highlight various ongoing stories within the Overwatch esports community. There is a litany of reasons as to why the Shanghai Dragons have been struggling to secure a single series win for the last 3 stages of the Overwatch League, from in-game communication issues to some players just being straight up outclassed by some of their other Overwatch League counterparts. According to a post on China's most popular gaming forum, NGA, Chinese Overwatch fans became furious after a post was made revealing how some members of the Shanghai Dragons appeared to have been spending more time playing PUBG than practicing Overwatch. Images from the match history database, which tracks games played, reveal that MG, Roshan, and Zushu, among others, have been playing at least a dozen games of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds a day as recent as last week. While they may be at the bottom of the rankings, with it now being mathematically impossible to make it into playoffs, it doesn't mean that the Shanghai Dragons can rest easy for the rest of the season. Fans have voiced their opinions from how the players are a waste of a slot, lazily collecting paychecks, and should be ashamed of their lack of dedication to Overwatch. In response to this uproar, the team's manager, Yang Van, posted a tweet longer meant to address the state of the team, player mindsets, and how the players are actually apparently working harder than every other team to improve as fast as possible, with full awareness of how ashamed they are of their series of defeats. I won't go through the entire piece as it's quite lengthy, but here are just a few key quotes. "We have the most intensive training scheme among all the teams. Ever since we arrived last December, our daily schedule starts at 10:30 a.m. as we leave for training facilities and return to our houses around 10:30 to 11 p.m. with a possible training extension to 12 a.m. We train 6 days a week with 1 day off. During mid stages, we have 3 to 4 days off, which depends on other teams' schedule if we can have scrims with them. This is how intensive we train in the US. We ask all our players to give everything in training, but we also let players relax however they want during off days. As far as playing other games, the team management has launched an internal investigation into the matter, which revealed, according to Yang Van, that days spent not on Overwatch coincide with the off days the players were given on the 6th, 7th, 9th, and 13th respectively, which were designated as days for rest. Stepping back to look at the strict regimen followed by the Dragons, one cannot help but be concerned for the mental health of the players and the stress levels that could be affecting their quality of life. While they may be practicing long hours, it is uncertain if this will ever pay off, as most teams would rather have limited high-quality practice rather than a high quantity of poor scrims. One important takeaway is when the manager writes that except for certain players on the team, most players which fans voice concerns about only play non-Overwatch games between 0.5 to 3 hours during off days. Most players which fans voice concerns about only play non-Overwatch games around 30 minutes to 3 hours during off days. Given the wording of the message, it's implied that there could be some players who are unofficially benched, leaving them likely with little motivation or opportunity to practice with the team in hopes of making it onto a starter position. Looking at Geguri and the other new Stage 3 additions, it appears as if the Dragons have dedicated themselves to fine-tuning a core set of players while potentially giving up on making use of the rest in an effective manner. On the topic of players being benched, that leads us into our next story of the day, with the London Spitfire, who've been making headlines with their latest announcement. According to the press release from the Spitfire management, the team has, as of today, designated an inactive status to the following 4 players: Hegopun, Tizi, Wu Yul, and Hureg. The players will remain with the team until the end of their contracts. Typically, players have the option to re-sign for another year with their team before officially being available on the free agent market, but it appears that these 4 Spitfire members will have to try their luck elsewhere if they want to return to the Overwatch League next season. In the release, the London Spitfire wrote, quote, "Every player in the Overwatch League wants to be a starter, and with a roster at near capacity, we are proud of these players for what they have brought to Spitfire and for helping us achieve the second best match differential in the league." That's all for this installment of Recap. What do you think the Dragons can do right now to improve their chances at least breaking their losing streak? On the other hand, what do you make of this London Spitfire announcement? Is it coming too close to the end of Stage 4, or is there something to be made of this? And what do you think will happen to these players? As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below.